Ken Fisher, you're Chair and Chief Executive of the Fisher House Foundation, Chair Invictus Games Orlando 2016. Just tell us a little bit about the work that you've done with Invictus and why it's so important from your point of view.
Well, when I first got involved in the adaptive sporting concept, Fisher House had already been in existence for 25 years. So Fisher House at that point had realized the value of having families be part of the healing process. Our motto is, a family's love is the best medicine of all. When the concept of adaptive sports really took root, and we had the chance to get involved from a family and friends perspective, it was with the Warrior Games back in 2012, 2013. I remember going to Colorado. I remember meeting Duke and thinking that, like the Warrior Games were such a well-kept secret, that these games needed to be televised. They needed to be out there. People needed to understand the impact not only of the families and the friends, but also what the adaptive sports has meant to men and women who had suffered wounds that would have been fatal in previous conflicts. Mm-hmm. The average stay, you know, was months, not weeks, not days. And so, you know, the concept of having adaptive sports as a goal, as a means for these wounded warriors to become competitors, was too compelling for us not to get involved in.
It's very interesting you're talking so much about family, all of you. Prince Harry, I've been watching it last night, Heart of Invictus again, on Netflix. And what's really key in that programme, I want to talk to you about, is how much impact it's actually having, Invictus, on attitudes towards disability across different parts of the globe.
I can sit here and tell you what I think, but I think it would probably be better to speak to the very people themselves, because back in 2014, we talked about how I heard stories how individuals wearing shorts with a prosthetic or with two prosthetics, we were walking around London, and you would see the parents take their child across to the other side of the road. Or someone comes walking towards you and just looks as though they're struggling. Again, the kids and the other people cross the road to go the opposite direction to them. And after 2014, it was incredible how quickly all that changed. And again, I only go off again what I see, but also what I hear from the individuals themselves. And it was a complete reverse. Mothers and their children were crossing the road to come over to shake their hands, to hear their stories. And I think the games itself really, rather than individuals feeling as though they needed to hide or needed to stay quiet, it was a case of, no, look, here I am, standing proud. Here I am, you know, finding my purpose again. And so many of these kids viewed then and still view now these individuals as superheroes. They really do, and I think that I think that should be encouraged. So, with regard to how each country has been affected or changed, or the perceptions have been changed through whether it's the documentary or through the games themselves. All I can say is that every single time, every single country we go to and that host the games, the impact, the positive impact on society as a whole is hugely positive.
So it has ripples beyond.
Well, yeah, I can use Germany as one example. Mm-hmm. One of the main reasons that we chose Germany was because we felt the need to be able to reconnect the German public with the service members. And for reasons that I don't need to necessarily go into detail here, but there was a huge divide. There was a huge gap of understanding. There was very little respect, very little admiration. There just wasn't that connection that I think we in the UK here and across the US that we take for granted. And now, just last week, they've announced that they now have implementing a Veterans Day. And that's off the back. I don't think we can fully take complete credit, but I have no doubt that Invictus Games and what happened, the magic that happened within that stadium in Dusseldorf, has a huge part to play there. And that will always be part of our global mission, which is going to these countries. And you know, there are other places. Denmark is another classic example where, you know, the media in that country has very much been in a habit of telling just the negative stories as opposed to the positive stories of those that have served. So I think, again, you provide this platform, whether it's on television, whether it's in the sporting grandstands, or whichever way you can. It's always about storytelling and giving these individuals the opportunity to tell their story, the true story, so that those perceptions of whatever people think they know is corrected.
What does recovery mean to you? For some, it means reclaiming your narrative, refining your approach, revolutionizing your mindset. It's a change that's not only physical, it's mental, emotional, social. The Invictus Games show that this growth is about more than what meets the eye. The spouse coordinating doctor's visits, the children celebrating milestones, the mother, father, fellow veteran, the friend. There's a community, near and far, surrounding our servicemen and women when they deploy, and long after they come home. Because healing does not happen alone. It takes a village, and is for the village. And one of the most essential parts of the process is having people surround you who understand. To grow as one unit, to achieve limitless potential. To remind us above all else, in this international family, no one gets left behind. Because this is Invictus. We are Invictus. Together.